Hey everybody, we're back in the studio again. We're going to talk glazing a bit today. And I'm going to take the opportunity to show you something that I don't do very often. And then we'll talk about the two little bowls that we've been following the path of, from throwing to drying and trimming to bisque firing and now glazing. But first I want to show you this. These are some mugs that I did, and it's one of the few items that I actually do 3 firings on. If you look real close, you can see there's already one glaze on here that's been fired. On the inside, on the outside, and I know this looks strange, so hang on a minute. And so this has already had 2 firings. It's had a bisque firing and 1 glaze firing. This glaze is from Amico. It's one of my favorites. It's called Textured Amber. But the only way I can get the effect that I want on this, in this particular glaze, is to fire it 3 times. So it's going to get a second glaze firing. So what you're seeing over the glaze right now is, believe it or not, blue rutile. Now, blue rutile looks like this. But believe it or not, when it comes out of the kiln, it turns blue. So these mugs are going to get 2 more coats of the blue rutile. And when it's totally dry, it's going to get 2 coats of a glaze called seaweed, which is a runner. I like to say glazes have personalities, and you kind of have to learn how they behave in the kiln. Now, if this works, I've done it before and it's worked. I've also done it where it hasn't worked. I will get what looks like almost a carnival glass effect on these mugs. So when they come out of the kiln, we'll see. But a lot of what I do in my work is a lot of brushing and layering and testing to see what different effects I can get. Because glazes combine with each other to create all different effects. All right, moving on to our little bowls that we've been following along with. So here's our 2 little bowls. And they look like they have dry paint on them. And essentially they do, but this is glaze before it's been fired. This one, we're testing these. Again, we're going to test some new glaze combinations, which I do a lot. And then sometimes I add to them later after I get my initial, if I like it. All right, so this one is from Mako, and it's called, I don't know what it's called. I don't have my glasses on. Hang on. This one is called Abalone, and it'll be a little bit like white and mauve when it comes out of the kiln, and it looks, you know, like it could do that with this kind of pink dry color. It has 3 brushed coats on it, inside and out. And then this one, here's another surprise to you, because glaze quite often doesn't look like what it's going to look like when it comes out of the kiln. This one is from Coyote, and it's called Blue Purple. I don't know, I've got some glaze dripping on it. I don't know if you can see this kind of, this blue color here. But this is what it looks like right now. So that has 3 brushed coats on it. And now we're gonna add another color to these. So this one with the abalone is going to get a glaze called Celadon Bloom. And I don't know if you can see this, but if you look at the brush real carefully, you'll see these little tiny like bits that are going to change color on the glaze, and it's going on top of the abalone. So I'll show you how I do that. That's going to get 2 brushed coats. So yeah, all of these are, most of my work is hand brushed. So it's basically just back and forth. You see some glaze flying here. I'm going to turn this upside down so it's resting on my hand so I can do the whole thing. So this is the first coat right over that abalone glaze. And you can see all these cool little bits in there, which are the bloom part of Celadon Bloom. So I'll go all the way around. And that'll be its first coat, and it needs to dry before I can do the second one. And I'm not going to do the inside, I'm only going to do the outside so we get to see the gorgeous abalone on its own, or what it looks like. It's a new glaze, I've never used it before. What it's going to look like when it comes out of the kiln. So we'll let that one dry. And then on the blue purple from Coyote, I have another new glaze here, and it's called Fairy Rose. It looks quite dark compared to the picture, so again, we don't know what we're going to get. But once again, we're going to go with 2 coats on the outside over the blue purple. We'll do the first coat and we'll let it dry. So that's a little bit of what I do when I'm doing glazing. I really focus on lots of different surface design ideas. So for our next video, you will get to see these 2 little bowls that we've been following the path of, what they look like when they come out of the kiln, and they'll be complete. So thanks for stopping by, and thanks for attending our Woodstock Farmers Market virtual sale.